You hear me, guys? So, are you bored yet, or what?
No, they're not bored by my presentation.
I trust you. So, thank you, Sarah. Thank you, everyone, for coming here. Thank you, Ibrahim, Yusuf, and Sarah, for the amazing presentations. Okay, so first of all, I'd like to apologize for the technical issues we had. I hope that now we won't face any. So, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Sohail Qawsi. I'm from Casablanca. I own a web development agency. I also co-founded Johnify, which is a mentorship program online. You can get online mentorship. It's on beta, so I will give you the link later so you can subscribe. So what I will be talking about today is Flutter. And Flutter is a Google technology that was present in the last DevFest. As you can tell by the title, I will speak about the magic of Flutter. What makes Flutter unique, what makes Flutter usable, easy to use. So I will do the slide manually before my friend Brahim comes here. Okay. I will present, of course. Okay, no internet. Can you see? Yeah, technical issues I spoke about. Okay, a pixel. Connect. Okay, need to press. So, meanwhile, I have questions for you guys. Any mobile developers here? Yeah, so what do you use to build your apps? Yeah. Yeah, sorry, you were saying? Awesome. So you use Flutter, so you can come here and speak about it if you want. So yeah, you can go to the next slide, please. Yeah, waiting. Okay, you can use my. Okay, so I will introduce. So Flutter is a UI toolkit built by Google. It helps you build mobile applications, web and desktop. Actually, after the latest release. So as you can see, it helps you high quality apps in real time. So it's a native experience across all the platforms, meaning that mobile, desktop, and the web. So which means you can and Android app, and we're using the same code base, which is a huge difference than what we used to build. For example, for Android, you can use Kotlin and Java. For example, for iOS, you can use Swift, or you can use Cocoa Pods. Does anyone here build mobile apps for iOS? You maybe? No. Okay. So what are the few challenges we use? Yeah, next slide, please. Okay. So what are the challenges of mobile development today? So I categorized in two approaches. It's used to the metal and the cross-platform approaches. So to the metal approaches is how I said. For each platform we have their own technologies. For example, for iOS, we have Swift. For Android, we have Kotlin and Java. So to the metal is, of course, you build high-quality apps because they are native. You build high-performance UIs. They are up to speed. But the problem is you have to get two teams to do that for you. Like you have the Android apps team and you have the iOS apps team. And consistency. So you can, for example, if you use Snapchat in the early days, you will find that they have two different designs. So in iOS, the experience is better than the Android, but now not so much. They are the same because I think they're using Flutter. And the cross-platform. So cross-platform is when you use technologies like Ionic or Cordova. Ionic and Cordova, they offer you fast development, portability reach, and non-native look and feel. That's the issue. So the non-native look and feel, because you're using web technologies to build mobile applications. It's like, who uses React here? Anyone? Nice. Okay, I see a few hands. So React and React Native, React is for the web. React Native is used for mobile development. So you can build amazing apps with React Native. Like you can use the iOS and Android platform, but it's slow, it's poor performance. It doesn't look native at all. So this is where Flutter comes to hand. Next slide. All right, so Flutter combines between the two worlds. So Flutter combines native performance and quality with high velocity development and multi-platform reach. This means you can build one application with Flutter, the same code, the same database, the same everything, without having to worry about writing iOS specific code or writing Android specific code, which means that you use one programming language, it uses Dart. So Dart is a programming language that built with C++. You can do the next slide, please. Yeah. So as you can see here, this is what a Flutter application looks like. So you see the core, which is built with C++. So Dart is built with C++. So of course, a programming language should matter. We have the framework Dart, which means that all the widgets, all the third-party libraries that you use to build your apps are built with Dart, like material design, Cupertino, widgets, the rendering engine, the animation, pattern, gestures, and the foundation. So if you use Dart, which is actually an easy language to learn, if you use JavaScript, the latest standardization, the ECMAScript 6, which means you can use classes now, you can use arrow functions, that looks pretty good with that. It's the same experience. You can learn both of them, no issues. So how does one code base convert to two code base, like iOS and Android? How does that work? It's kind of magic, so how does it work? So when you build the client application, which is like just the UI, and Brahim and Yusuf spoke about backend program languages like Python and C++. So Flutter is a client application, so it's just the UI, just what you see and you interact with. So it converts from the client app using the method channels of each specific platform. For example, the iOS host uses the Flutter method channel, and the Android host uses the method channel. Next slide. Okay. So let's speak a little bit about Dart. So as I said, Dart is also a programming language that's built by Google. It uses C++ under the hood. It's also another enough reason for you to learn and use Flutter, because both are built the same company. The community is big enough, so you can actually find tutorials, find answers in Stack Overflow, find open source on GitHub, as the gentleman said. Yeah, it's an enough reason to learn Dart. So you can also use Flutter, and I think the guy agrees. So you build application, you use Dart. So what Flutter offers more is high velocity development and expressive and flexible toolkits, native iOS and Android apps. We will be speaking about them in details in the next few seconds. Next slide. Okay, so what do we mean by high velocity development? So if you ever run code, you mean that you write code, you give it to the compiler to compile, then you wait for the results, then you have errors. I think everyone who uses VS Code or Android Studio have faced something like that. A lot of bugs, a lot of problems, and you have to go to Stack Overflow to search for the problems. You have to go to the terminal to reload, and you have to wait like for more hours to debug your code. But with Flutter now and with a lot of other technologies, it's a sub-second reload time. It means that once you write a code, the result is reflected on the browser or your Android application. Pen your app to life, which means if your designer gives you something, and our designer Eamon gives amazing designs to the team, for example, and we want to build it on the Android platform, we never say no to him. Like Flutter offers you a lot of amazing experience, user experience, developer experience that you can have your designers design to life. So testing hypothesis quicker than ever. So of course, if you're a developer, you should be testing everything, like every user interaction, every feature. So Flutter makes it easy to do tests, integration tests, feature testing, and etc. So more time to experiment and test features is the same thing. It's a single code base for faster collaboration. So as I said, one single code base. You don't have to worry about iOS or Android specific problems. It's literally just one thing. One code base you write the function, it works on iOS, it works on Android, you don't have to worry about anything. Ibrahim, next slide, please. Okay, so flexibility and control for beautiful UIs. As I said, so both iPhones now and Android are amazing phones, like beautiful big screens, large screens, amazing cameras. So your application needs to feel amazing and fits the criteria of a beautiful application that is going to be used on a beautiful phone. So make your brand come to life. Sarah spoke about the brand. You said you want to build a website. The lady here spoke about having your experiences on a brand. So I suggest you do it via Flutter. As I said, never say no to your designer. He gives you something to design, something to put on the screen, you make it. Stand out in the marketplace. As you say, if you use Flutter, you have one advantage, by the way. Application built with Flutter is our application that Google takes and promotes in their applications. Because so far now, we only have like 500 apps in Google Store, Play Store, so not so much, not like Java, not like Kotlin. So if you use Flutter, they will promote you. So they will encourage their code base, they will encourage their technologies. So, and of course, win awards with beautiful UI. If you use websites like UpLabs, like Dribble, like anyway, if you're a designer, you probably know these sites like Behance. So you can share your UI and win awards by sharing by participation in competitions and. So, yeah, this is the biggest problem that we have when we develop in applications. So it's the native look. You use an application and you don't want to like wait 3 seconds, 4 seconds to actually use an application. So the native look of Flutter, it makes it easy for iOS and Android to feel natural to you. When you use your phone, when you use your tablet, when you use your iPad, for example, it feels natural. It's like it was built using native technologies. So this is the advantage of Flutter. So it compiles directly to native ARM code. It does not use a JavaScript bridge. So as we know, JavaScript works well on web, but not on mobile. So it's 60 FPS, frame per second. So this is amazing. If you're a photographer, you know what that means. A GPU accelerated, smooth animation, deep platform integrations, narrow look and feel, and critical platform differences. Scrolling, navigation, fonts, which makes the screen uses every pixel in your application. So I will talk about what companies use Flutter, and of course Google is the first of them. Groupon, Capital One, Square, and as you can see in the screen, thousands of the applications uses Flutter. So of course you know Alibaba, you buy a lot from it. Google AdWords, Birch Finance, Hamilton Musical. These all are applications that uses Flutter. So I will speak about the graphics. So I'm not sure if games are built with Flutter, but I'm sure they tried. But you use your phone, you want a performance the graphical performance should be amazing and astounding. And Flutter is a really powerful tool to use in order to build that. So it seamlessly combines user interface widgets with 60 frames per second animated graphics generated in real time with the same code running on iOS and Android. So this is a quote from David Rismer, is the co-founder of Post. He said that Hamilton launched as a featured app on iOS and Android within 3 months of us writing our first line of Flutter code. So this is a big advantage. So if you have a startup and you want to reach as many users as possible, you cannot just invest time in using Java or Swift to build both of your application. If you use something like Flutter or React Native, you can reach the both platforms as fast as possible. So if you're a developer, you will know most of these tools without having the name under them, but it works with popular tools and platforms. So if you're a coder, these above are the IDEs. Firebase, Mr. Yusuf spoke about Firebase and what it is. Android APIs, iOS APIs, Material Design, and Redux. So if you don't know what Redux is a state management library. It doesn't only work with React, because if you just look for React, you will find React Redux, React Redux. But actually, Redux works with a lot of other technologies. And of course, third-party Android SDKs and iOS SDKs. Yeah, so as I said, it's a rich ecosystem and community. So if you're learning Flutter, you won't feel lost. You will learn a lot of things. You will search for answers. You will search for questions. You will want to read more on like articles, documentations. And as our friend said, Medium is an amazing platform where you can find articles about Flutter. And guys, you don't have to pay the $5, he said, by the way. There is an extension I can give you, which you can take the pop-up that says you have to pay. So we have like 24K GitHub stars. This is the GitHub star for the Flutter alone, like the repository, not the all projects. We have 500 apps in the Play Store. We have like amazing websites where you can go and learn from each. Have articles, have videos, tutorials, and YouTube is also your place to start for amazing stuff. It's open source, of course, so just go ahead, read the code, edit the code, contribute to open source. And by the way, Oktoberfest is just finished, so I'm not sure if any one of you wants some t-shirts by GitHub by actually promoting the open source or promoting the open source. Did you? No, you didn't. So you're speaking about open source. You should have participated. Okay. So how can I start with Flutter today? So normally, we all have an idea. Like everyone here, I think, if I choose anyone, he will be saying, I have a $1 million idea. Am I right? Who does have a 1 million idea here? Don't worry, I won't steal it. 1 million dirham. Okay, that's a lot. So yeah, so you take your idea and you start your app from scratch. Just go and learn. It's always start with Hello World. And that's it. You can add widgets, third-party libraries, and go for it. Everything is online. Everything is on Stack Overflow. So yeah, you can also use your existing code base with Flutter. For example, you rebuild your app with Flutter. For example, something that uses Java in the first place. You can also bring your app to the other platform. For example, if you have an iOS application or an Android application, and you want to switch the platform, or you want to support other platforms, you can do that with Flutter. You can use Flutter for a part of your application. This is why Flutter is magical. This means this is why the title is Magical Flutter, because this is how it works. You can use Flutter for a part of your application. You can use it for Android only. You can use it for iOS only. You can use it for both. So as I said, Flutter is just one technology of many that are developed by Google. So as you can see here, we have Firebase, we have Flutter, we have Material Design, we have Google Cloud Platform that was given an amazing talk by Mr. Yusuf. And thank you guys. Right. Yeah, so here are the websites of my company, Artisoft, and my startup. If you want to register for Johnify, you can do so via the link below. You can take a picture and do so. And yeah, thank you. Thank you should be the last slide, but I forgot it.
Okay. So does anybody want to ask questions? After the photos, maybe?
I have two questions. The first question about Flutter. Last time I built with an application with Flutter, I had problems with the packages. For example, Google Maps. There is a lot of problems. It's still in beta. The development is slow. Until now, I think it's still in beta. So is it a good idea to go with Flutter?
Do you mean the beta in the Google Maps package or Flutter?
I mean, the development of packages are slow. So
No, because I know what you're speaking about. Because I used Flutter like 2 years, 1 year and a half ago, and it was in beta. So I'm not sure if it's the same time span.
No, the Flutter is now
Is now
stable,
official.
yeah, it's
Exactly.
official.
So of course
the
when it's
podcast is still in beta.
no, it's not. Now it's actually an official platform. Like it's updated every day. It's new releases are going every month, every other week. So you can use it with confidence, and you can. If Google Maps plugin doesn't work for you or the widget, you can go read the open source. Maybe they have some comments on why it doesn't work. Because sometimes the problems you're facing are solvable as easy as you can think.
Okay. The
Yep.
second question
Okay.
is I use the Redux as a state management. Okay. Is Redux better than block state management, or there is another option?
Well, it depends on your needs, because Redux follows the architecture of one single state of truth. So it depends on your application needs. If block is better for you, use block. If Redux is good, use Redux. Well, Redux is better state for the web. I think you can use block instead, but both is fine.
Block from Google, so
yeah, anything. As I said, the reason why you can learn Flutter and be confident about it is that all the technologies that are around it are built by Google, so they are like daily updated. You can also, update them yourself, contribute to the open source, have a community around you. So you don't have it. So if block is used by Google, so they understand the Flutter problems better. Any other questions? It's specific in the user interface world. It's front end and front end. So any other tool that you use with it is like SQL database, for example, or some API endpoints that you hit. Flutter is just the UI interface. It's a UI toolkit. It has everything you need. It has everything that you work with. For example, Material UI, it has a lot of components. Cupertino, I think, is for icons.
Of course, but how do you build it?
How do you build it?
Yeah, is there any tool to, is there a visual interface to build it, or is it only, is it code only?
Yeah, it's code only actually. So Flutter is code based. So you have to code your libraries, you have to code your business functions, etc. And yeah, it's mostly code. It's Dart code, as I said. It's and I forgot to mention about Dart. Flutter used Dart version 2. So if you go and find tutorials about the first version, it will be lost. Yeah, sure. Said, make sure that I will ask you too. Like, sure, hold your cards.
So my question today is, for example, I'm a startup. I'm going to build an application. Why I'm going to choose Flutter over the other platform? For example, there's React Native, there's Ionic. So today is Flutter because it's a Google platform. That's why I'm going to choose it, or there is.
That's actually a wonderful question. And to be clear with you, so you said you're a startup, you want to move fast. You have users waiting for your application and ideas. So why you should use Flutter, as I said, is it's many platforms. So we have Flutter. I spoke about Flutter for iOS and Android only, but it also works on the web and desktop. So if your application requires desktop, application, or it requires web application, you can use Flutter for all the platforms using one single code base. So you can move fast, as I said. You can never say no to your designer. If your designer is an ambitious guy, like the guy next to you, you can never say no to him. So you can move fast. And you can scale your startup.
Okay, thank you, Swain.
You're welcome.
Hello, thank you for your presentation about Flutter.
You're welcome.
My question is, in the first 4 slides, you said React Native is poor performance and slow. How came React Native is slow, and big companies like I don't know, like
Facebook.
Yeah, like Facebook.
Yeah, because Facebook built it.
And a lot of big companies are using React Native, and
well, to be fair with you, I will tell you something. I don't want to have any problems by speaking about React Native. But I will tell you why you should use Flutter and what's the issue with applications that are alternative to Flutter. So Android is built by Google, right? So they know their platforms better. So it's open source, but the core programs are built by Android. So they know their issues, they know their problems, they know what the developers are facing. So Flutter understands the Android world more, the iOS world more. So Google is, it's a big company. We know React Native is built by Facebook, which is also a big company. But no one understands Android better than Google, and that's enough reason for you to use Flutter.
Yeah, but I'm talking about
Your
like,
poor performance. You said the poor performance.
Yeah.
So
how came
React.
Native
Have you ever built an application with React Native?
Yeah.
So you face some issues using the camera and accessing the third libraries that are built by, right?
It depends on the experience of the developers.
Exactly. So with Flutter is all natural. It's you never have a third-party library to access the camera, for example, or accessing location. It's all Flutter. So it's natural. You don't have to install, for example, Node modules that take 500 megabytes of your disk space.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah.
If I don't, you can ask more.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So poor performance actually. So as I said, you know C++, right?
Yeah.
So C++ is the language that Dart uses, and Dart is the language that Flutter uses, the framework. So C++ is of course faster than JavaScript, and React Native is built on top of JavaScript. So this is the main performance. Yeah. Not only, but yeah, of course, but React Native too. Okay, so that's something I got wrong. Okay, that's something I got wrong, but it's the same thing. So it's mainly JavaScript. JavaScript is mainly web based. So you can use Flutter for that.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Now I will present our next speaker. Our next speaker will talk to us. Her topic is very interesting, from startup to scale up. Our next speaker is Hajar Jafari, Chief Product Officer of Pixel Perfect. And now she starts presenting. Thank you.
Système d'information. Voilà, donc j'ai plus de 10 ans d'expérience en tant que chef de projet, Scrum Master, l'agilité sur les sociétés je ne sais pas qui est parmi vous qui a travaillé avec moi, donc il me connaît. Aujourd'hui, on va prendre un exemple de start-up, c'est la société Pixel Perfect, et parler des problématiques normalement vécues. Qui est parmi vous, c'est quoi une start-up? Oui. Vous pouvez passer le micro, s'il vous plaît.